So now let's talk about select statements in structured query language. So select statements basically allow you to search through records in order to find the records that you actually care about. Now the first way to do a select statement is to use the star, the asterisks here. And basically with the asterisk, what that is going to say is it's going to say, quote unquote, give me all columns other than the row ID. So it's almost all columns without that row ID that you may or may not care about. So name, age, size, GPA, whatever columns you put in there, that's going to give you all the columns, right? So if we do select all from people, so we had a people database that we used in a previous example. If we added a number of different records to that table and that database, we will then get, Bob 12, Tim 23, Sue 44, Pat 33. So all the records from people with all the columns, all the column values. That's what you get with select all, right? If you want specific columns, so maybe you only want a name, or only you want the name and the sex, and the name and the shirt size, that type of thing, you can specify what columns that you're looking for. Or again, if you want that row ID. So we do from this, we do select row ID, comma, name, comma, age from people. Row ID of 1, Bob 12. 2, Tim 23. 3, Sue 44. Right, so if all we wanted was the row ID and the name, we could have simply done row ID, comma, name from people, and that would have just given us the row ID and the name. That's basically how that works. Again, if we come down here, we can see this. So select name from people, so only the column, the values in the column name. So we get Bob, Tim, Sue, and Pat. So that is how you're able to get the different values from the different columns and be able to get all the records from a particular table. So select, again, columns or the asterisk from the table name, and that will print out what you're looking for. Now, as you can see, when we print everything out from this particular people table, we see we have these different ages, right? Bob is 12, Tim is 23, Sue is 44, Pat is 33, and Sue is 88. What if we wanted to only get the records of people that are above a certain age? And that's where you can actually do a conditional. So here we're going to do select all, so all column names from people. Then we're going to add where to the end of it, right? So people where age is greater than 30. And you actually have to put this number within quotation marks for some reason. Don't ask me, I'm sure there's a technical reason, but it's one of the quirks. Welcome to the quirks. And then we close with the semicolon. So again, out of all these folks up here, Bob, Tim, Sue, Pat, and another Sue, we will then see Sue 44, Pat 33, and Sue 88. So this will give us, we could do less than 30, we could do greater than 30, we could use different conditionals, equals to something, that type of deal if you've dealt with conditionals before. So with the where, we're able to then add those conditions in so that we only get specific records that we care about. With the select statements, using a where, you can also put in wildcards. So basically what a wildcard is where you say, I'm looking for something surrounded by other things, I don't know what they may be, and it's basically how you're able to do a search, right? So you're able to use the like keyword. So select all from people where the name column is like, we have the quotation marks, and then here we're using the percentage sign. So what percentage sign means is any character, any number of characters, including no characters at all. Then we say B, so we're looking for any name that just has a B in it. And then we close with a percentage sign too. So basically anything including nothing in front of a B, anything including nothing after a B, that basically means we're looking for any name with a B in it, and then we close the quotation marks, and we do a semicolon to close the statement. And then for this set of records, we get Bob, we get Billy, we get Brad, and we get Bess. So those are the people in our table that have a B in their name. Now, when you're looking at this for the wild cards, basically there's two wild cards to deal with. Percentage sign means any character, any number of characters, including nothing. Then you also have an underscore, and an underscore basically just, it's any character one time, right? So basically if you kind of sort of know what you're looking for, but you're missing, you're not quite sure individual text, in certain places, you could use these underscores to basically go through, create the main thing that you're looking for, and then underscore, underscore, so it'll be that, and any two characters, and only two characters, that might be a wildcard that will be different. And so that is how you're able to use like to do wildcard queries with structured query language. Now what if you want to sort records? So whenever you do a select statement with a structured query language, basically it's just going to provide you the results in whatever order the records were added to your table. So whatever that row ID number or the primary key number is, that's how everything is going to be sorted. So if you want things sorted by age or alphabetically by name, that type of thing, you have to use order by. So select all from people, order by age, and so basically by default this is going to be ascending for age. So Bess is 5, Bob is 12, Brad 13, Billy 22, Tim 23, so on and so forth. So all you do is select all from table, order by whatever column it is that you care about, and that's how you get it ascending. If you want it descending, so you want to start, at 88, top to bottom, then all you do is select all from people, order by age, whatever column, descending, DESC, and that will give you the order in descending order. Now the final thing for the select statements is limiting the number of results that you get back. So imagine you have a massive database. You have a database that has millions and millions and millions of records, and you're using some kind of wild card, or you're searching for something, and no matter what, you don't want all the results to come back, right? You want the top 10 results or the top 5 results or something like that to come back. That is where you can use the limit. Right? So select all from people, limit 3. So what this is going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to select, right, the top 3. So Bob 12, Tim 23, Sue 44, and it's simply going to give you those, and you're not going to get any more. This can be very important, especially when you use those back-end programming languages. Remember, the more your database server has to process and the more your back-end programming language has to process, the slower your overall system is going to be, right? So if you only need like 1 record or 5 records and you pull thousands of records back and then have to deal with that, that's going to add just a lot of resource utilization to your system that there's just simply no need for, right? So by using a limit, you can limit to just the top results that you actually care about, if that's something you care about. Again, you can also add these. So for like order by, so I can do select all from people, order by age. So again, ascending. So I basically want the 3 youngest people. Limit 3, and that gives me Bess at 5 and Brad at 13 and Billy at 22. Those are the 3 youngest people that we have. So basically using limit, all this does is simply limits the responses that are coming back. On your lab environment, this type of thing might not seem like it matters very much, but again, in a real production environment, if you don't put these types of limits in when you should have them in your system, it just adds a tremendous amount of load that doesn't have to be there. So there you go. That's how select statements work within structured query language. As with all this stuff, it's relatively simple as long as you type in the right words. You put in the right words, everything's gonna go great. You type in something else, it'll fail. Welcome to the world of technology, but this is just the type of thing that you've got to play with and see what works for you and just kind of figure it out and get used to doing these types of statements for them to become easier.